Hey, Mike from Aftermarket Assassins here. We're going to show you the Powervision 3 Aftermarket Assassins custom tuned, how to load a tune, and a few other features about this device. So we're going to go ahead and flip the key on. If you have a 2-position key switch, make sure it's in the 2nd position. Fire this tuner up. This is a really nice screen, really nice gauge. Great buttons you can use with gloves. Really nice. So it's going to pull up when you first get this, and it's going to say no compatible stock files, and Ecu Read is needed to begin. So we're going to do the Ecu Read. We're going to push the center button. Ecu Read can take about 15 minutes. Make sure your battery's in good condition. And it's going to read the ECU. We're going to take a brief pause here while this reads the ECU. So it'll take about 15 minutes and we'll be back. Alright, we're just finishing up our ECU read right now. It should be about complete. Alright, we're just finishing up our ECU read, final step. And it tells you that ECU Read and your .SDK, that is your stock file, have been successfully saved to the tuner. So we're going to hit the back button right there. Now it's going to search for tune files, and it said all required files found. So we're going to press the center button to select tune. Select that, and automatically brings us to the flash tune menu. So we jump right into this and we can select what tune we want to run. As you can see, we've got a level 2 and 3 on this from us, our custom tunes, and we've got our .SDK, which is our stock file if we ever wanted to go back to that. So let's go ahead and flash this. We're going to flash to level 3. So we're going to scroll down with this scroll button, and we can scroll through if we want to, but we're just going to select level 3, push the center button to select. Now it's going to tell you all sorts of information about this. It tells you it's our Aftermarket Assassins tune, all our descriptions. You want to keep an eye on this to make sure everything lines up. This is our level 3 tune, meant for 91 octane, 20 to 25 horsepower. Then we're going to push the center button to start the flash. So this is a new tuner, so it's not paired yet. So we're going to have to pair this. This locks it to your ECU. So we're going to hit the center button. And now we're going to hit the center button again. It'll ask us to confirm flash tune after the pair. Now it's preparing, and this will actually flash our ECU. This takes about 5 minutes. It'll go through a few steps right now. It'll erase the ECU. It'll start loading the file on. We're going to pause for a minute while this goes through all the steps. Okay, you can see where flash is successful. It says turn key off to allow ECU to reset. So we'll flip our key off, all the way off. Turn your key off and you can turn it back on. And our flash is in. You can fire it up if you want to right at this point. We're just going to show you a few other things. You'll see now that the flash is in a .djt file that we have all of our channels here. So we'll be able to set those up and do some other things. Right now we're just showing you how to flash with this device, but we do have a lot of other options. So if you hit the center button for menu, you've got flash tune, which we just did, but you can go in there and change your tune or go back to stock. We have vehicle tools. In here we have vehicle information. It tells us some information about the vehicle, not really pertaining much to users. Diagnostics. We got diagnostics, you can clear and check codes that way. A read ECU, we're not going to need to do that. We already did that. Delete data logs if you get a lot of data logs. And then we've got the restore ECU, which this just sends you back to the stock file. So you can load the stock file or use this restore ECU feature, whatever is easier for you. We've also got device tools, and that's configure gauges. We'll go over that on a different video, but we've got device information. That just tells us the firmware and a couple other things about the actual device itself. Most likely not going to need to know that. Reformat disk, settings, and update device. A few things, but usually you're not going to need those. We can go more into depth on the tech of it. We're just showing you a basic overview of this gauge right now. Bluetooth settings, those are not currently active, but I'm sure they will be in the future, and when those are, we will update you with a new video for that as well. That's the Powervision 3 for the Polaris off-road. We're plugged into the diagnostic port, flashing everything over the diagnostic port. This is one of the nicest tuners on the market, hands down. It flashes the correct way with the correct tune compats, not just forcing a flash like a lot of other flash tuners do. And now we've got one of the nicest gauges, hands down, on the market. Nice buttons. This thing's built for off-road. It's built to take abuse, and Aftermarket Assassins custom tuning on it. You can't beat it. Now I'm going to show you how to set up your gauges and some interesting things about mounting this tuner. First, you can actually mount it either way. Right here we've got it actually mounted to the center box where you normally put your phone in. We have that just using the Velcro. On the outside of it we can run the cable down and through the center here. You can get pretty crafty mounting these, but the nice thing is about mounting them is you can actually flip the screen and rotate this 180 degrees, so you can have the cord come out on either side if you wish. So we're going to show you that first. So hit the center button. We're going to go down to Device Tools, the center button to select. We're going to go down to Settings. We're going to go to Rotate Screen. It'll ask you if you want to flip the screen. Press the center button. Our screen is flipped. We can mount this actually the other way. We're going to take that back. I'm going to go back and show you how to configure gauges. So again, the main screen. I'm going to go down to Device Tools again. Now we're going to go to Configure Gauges. I've already got a couple gauges set up. When you first pull up your screen one, you can see I've got boost, engine speed, throttle position, charge temp on here. When you first pull up that screen, it's going to look like our number 3. So this is showing us channel 9, 10, 11, 12. And we can display, 4 different gauges, gauge screens with 4 different channels per. So we're going to select channel 9, and we're going to go down here and select throttle position. And then it's going to ask us our precision on that, where we want our decimal point. So on throttle position, we don't really need a 0.0, which is usually standard for about everything else. We just need to know, if it's 50 or 51%, great. We don't need to know 50.2%. A lot of times the ECU will not output that anyways on certain things. So we're just going to go with 0 on the throttle position. Then we're going to go down to, let's do load request. So we're going to do that. We're going to go 0.0. We want to know a little bit more precision on the load request. And then we're going to go down and select our channel 11. And we're going to go through, we're going to select manifold absolute pressure. This is the absolute pressure that it's building, plus boost pressure, plus your barometric pressure outside. Something mostly you won't need to know, but we're going to select PSI. You've got all these different millibars, KPA, PA. You can select whatever you want, but most of us are going to use PSI in the United States. So we're going to select PSI. This one, again, we want a little bit more precision. We want to know if it's 16.5 or 16.8. That can make a difference on boost and manifold pressure. So we're going to select that. We're going to go down to channel 12. We'll set up our final values here. We'll go to requested AFR. This is what the tune is requesting. We're probably going to use AFR. That's going to be best for most of us. We do have a lambda setting as well if that is better for you, but most of us are going to use AFR tables. So we're going to go again 0.0. And now we're all filled up on this screen. So we've got a few different screens. We've got 1, 2, and 3 configured now. 4 is still open. We can put our 4 into that. So we're going to go back to the main screen all the way back. So this is in the first screen that I had set up previously. So we've got these different settings. We can have boost, engine speed, throttle position. We can go down to our second one. This is the second one that I made. And then now we can go to our third one. This is the one we just set up. So this shows you how to use that gauge, how to scroll through. You've got this little scroll bar over on the side, kind of hard to see, but that's your gauge setup. Works really, really nice. You can do it as you need to, whatever works for you. Many people probably just use one gauge screen and change it out as you need to, but for those looking for a little bit more, it is nice to be able to toggle through and see all the things you want to see on the fly while you're riding.